welcome back. It's the second segment today where we will mix it up. We will demonstrate how we talk to the purple people, not all red, all blue. We talk about the middle area where sometimes, every so often on national television, on Newsmax TV, Democrats and Republicans and independents can agree. We had a small agreement in segment one. I'm hoping for a bigger one in segment two. Joining me again, John Burnett, Managing Director, Empire One Group, David Eisenbach, professor at Columbia University, and Liquid Lunch very own presidential historian. Guys, all these people in Congress are now suddenly cryptocurrency experts, and now they're grilling Facebook about their new Libra coin that they're trying to come out. Here's Sherrod Brown yesterday grilling Facebook.
Now Facebook asks people to trust them with their hard-earned paychecks. It takes a breathtaking amount of arrogance to look at that track record and think, you know what we really ought to do next? You know what we ought to do next? Let's run our own bank and our own for-profit version of the...
All our behavioral, if you're on Facebook, they have like so much information on you already. Yeah. Do these guys even know what they're talking about?
They don't. Just like everything else, the lawmakers always trail the trends and innovation.
Right.
And it's no different here. But what's making this argument or debate extremely unique, the Federal Reserve
is now coming in the Treasury.
Why? Because they stand to lose a lot in terms of if people can avoid the banking system and transfer money directly between each other.
It's crazy.
That's a huge threat.
Peer, and I think this is, Dave, the banking lobby at work. That's basically, they see all those merchant processing fees and those $3 ATM fees and those $35 overdraft fees. They see that whole pot of money vanishing.
Completely cashless, right?
It's not a coincidence that the same week, Donald Trump and Steve Mnuchin came out against Bitcoin.
Right.
And that plunged the price of Bitcoin down. So I think that the Federal Reserve is getting very worried about people's confidence in the dollar, and they see Bitcoin as a threat along with the whole cryptocurrency sphere.
When I made an assumption the other day that Donald Trump is doing another masterful thing here. He's basically saying, I hate Bitcoin. This way, he knows the left-wing media will say, oh, we like it, because they do the opposite of whatever he says. So now I think the left-wing is going to start saying, well, crypto's good. The president doesn't know what he's talking about.
And the president wants to protect the working class.
He's got to protect
men
the
and women. And I think that's a great soundbite.
Aside from the banking, lobby, the government doesn't want, money supply to be decentralized, because then they start to kind of lose control over us.
Well, it means they can't keep on printing these phony fiat dollar bills and expecting everybody to pay with the only game in town, which is the U.S. dollar.
So we're going to keep you posted on that. But now I'm going to sit back and pour myself a drink, because I know we're going to get to a topic that these guys are going to agree on, and we're going to just let it fly right now. But Bill de Blasio qualifies for the second debates by the skin of his teeth. Raised $1 million in the last quarter, which is laughable. He's the mayor of New York City. He raised $1 million. Pete Buttigieg is the mayor in some little town in Indiana, and he raised $24 million. David, what say you?
Well, Bill de Blasio is the most corrupt mayor since Jimmy Walker.
Ding, ding, ding,
six
ding.
different, different pay-to-play corruption investigations by the Manhattan DA and the U.S. Attorney. They say that we couldn't prosecute, not because he's innocent, but because the Supreme Court has basically legalized pay-to-play corruption. And so Bill de Blasio, a sellout Democrat, handed over New York City to big real estate, not who we need as our nominee.
John, what do you think?
Spoken like a Republican.
Yeah. Awesome. Now we ring the bell again.
Look, this guy is the worst mayor ever. So we agree on that. And the thing is, $1.1 million, you know what? He's playing in the big league now. Why? Because there's no matching funds. Yeah. You actually have to raise real dollars.
Exactly. Just for those of you watching at home, in New York, we have this crazy system where when you run for office, you raise $100. The city gives you another 800. They match them, so every 100 equals 900. So if he was running in New York, he raised $1 million. He's got $9 million. Now he doesn't have the training wheels.
Exactly.
And he's getting whopped.
You know what? He doesn't have big government behind him. So who does he have behind him now? The lobbyists, right? The developers that are padding his coffers, not that much, but still, they're actually that's the majority of his donor base. And the thing is, I heard he hired what? A speech coach?
No. You're going to the next story. Is,
I'm sorry.
Joe Biden, after the first debate, his federal election filings show that right after the first debate, Joe Biden hired a speech coach because he got walloped so bad in there. What would you tell him to do?
Well, the thing is, you shouldn't have to train a politician that's been in there for 45 years, right? You know what? Kamala Harris, she gave him a straight right cross and a left hook, and all he did was mumble for about 10 seconds, and all of a sudden, oh, my time is up. He actually threw in the towel.
David.
He doesn't have the heart. He doesn't have the stamina. But yet he's leading in the
Duran.
Totally.
No mas.
No
My
mas.
time is up. You ever see anybody do that before?
Well, look, when you're being attacked on the issue of race by somebody who was bused to school when she was a kid, basically he just threw up his hands because he wasn't going to win that argument
like you're
on
doing
that
now.
stage.
Look, you know what I would have said if I was Biden? Look, great. I'm glad you had the opportunity for education. But what did you do with it? You actually got into law school and you actually put a lot of black and brown people in jail as a prosecutor.
Oh, man, no.
Right?
That's
and when you look at that, you know what? That's not the right side of civil rights that I would be on.
But you're talking about it maybe in front of an audience that included Republicans and Independents. But in a Democratic primary, that would not win.
John Burnett, David Eisenbach, duking it out, guys. Thank you so much. They'll be back again. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Stay right there.